Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to episode 13 of the Great War Western Front. Western Front shifting east at a very rapid pace, I should say. Leuven, Brussels and Ghent are about to be liberated. It's going to take a few turns. Once that's done, the Germans are going to be probably below 100 national will. And we're going to make sure that they get there a little faster. Of course, they still have a couple of somewhat dangerous stacks here in Mrozak. There's 8. There's 14 in Rochefort. I'm actually more concerned about the one in Mrozak than I am about the one over here. If Mrozak breaks through Hasselt and reconnects with Leuven, then all of these guys can start to maneuver. Which means all of these sectors are suddenly fair game, so Hasselt must not fall. This is important. They do only have 1 star. I'm going to give them a bunch of supplies and make sure that these guys last as long as they can. Now, I have armor there, so I should be fine. I have upgraded my tank battalions to also include the Whippet tanks, and hopefully with that attachment, these guys are going to be even more capable. My attack plan is to go for La Roche-en-Ardenne. There's only 2 corps there, and I got some fairly sizable groups here and here. There is the 14 stack from Rochefort that could assault Huy if I decide to push all my forces there. The guys here are not that likely to come under attack. I'm also forming up a pretty sizable stack here in Verdun, in Nancy and Lunéville. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with them yet. I want to see how the AI responds. Because I'm building up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attack groups. And the AI is going to have to decide where they want to send their defensive units. Where do they want to put up a bunch of defenses? They cannot use the stacks over there, so it's going to have to come out of the death stack of 14. Which should eliminate the potential for an attack on either Huy, Dinan or Fumé. I'm not sure what the guys are planning, but I'm not really going to sit around and find out. Now, because I used most of this turn to start shuffling troops around, including my newly acquired siege cannons, I can't exactly go on the offensive. Well, I could do it in Lunéville. This is likely going to be a stalemate. There's 2 corps there. I do not, however, have armor. So that's a bit of an issue. Does that mean I won't attack? Yes. Is it prudent? Probably. Is it boring? Potentially a little bit. But right now I find it safer to just hold off on the attack rather than just waste the lives of my men. So, on to the next turn, where Hasselt has been spied upon, and the Germans are shuffling their forces, but not actually doing much with them. The stack from Mrozak decided not to go on the offensive. Montbédy now has 2, La Roche-en-Ardenne still has 2, Rochefort has 5, 7, 9, it's not that bad, really. I could just push into Strasbourg, Saarburg and then Strasbourg and cut this off, or potentially go to Hagenau. So let's take this first, and make sure that that little double stack gets hit at least once. And then we can go on the offensive later in a different sector and keep the Germans guessing as to exactly where we're going to attack. Alright, here we go. Including the new Whippets. Light mobile tanks, far faster than the behemoths that are following along. Now, it's not like I'll not need the big guys anymore. The Whippets serve a different purpose. They're faster, they're cavalry tanks, they can probably abuse and use any breakthrough that I might be able to force. So they're more of a chaser tank, I guess, in the sense that they'll be able to charge in when I need them to, or respond to an attack as it might be happening. Now let's make sure I don't lose a single tank here. I'm going to keep suppressing that mortar pit. It does seem to be working quite well. Look, those guys out there, they're volunteering for an attack by the Whippet tanks. Wait, they got flamethrowers? Stormtroopers? Really? But I thought stormtroopers weren't exactly that good for holding a line. Because they got some really limited range with those flamethrowers. So, perhaps I was wrong, or perhaps the AI is using the infantry wrong. Not quite sure. Anyway, I have a couple of Gurkhas, and I am willing to use them. So we're going to send the Gurkhas forward, and I'm especially counting on the Gurkhas to do a bunch of damage against the command trench later. I'm not sure if that is warranted or not. We'll just have to see how good those Gurkhas perform, because they're only 25 guys. They're packing a bunch of grenades, and I am expecting great things of them. Whether they will live up to that, we're about to find out. Now let's pull this one tank back. The rest of you can keep going. And yeah, the Germans keep reinforcing the place, but to no avail. I have seen that the Germans have bought a couple of tanks. We've seen like a few tank groups in the past. So I'm kind of expecting to see them again. The real question is, does the German force still have enough cash to fund the buying of tanks? And I think that is where we might find them a little lacking. They probably don't have the money for it, and as they don't have the money, it's pretty much a non-starter for them. I bet they would love tanks, and I'm also going to bet that they can't afford them. So yeah, the AI is going to need a buff in at least a monetary sense, because with the first campaign and this campaign too, I've noticed that at some point, basically after holding out against 3 attacks or something, the AI just doesn't do much. They simply cannot do much. They don't have the money for it. And as they don't have the money, they simply become, well, stopped. Yeah, it turns into a bit of a stalemate, which I suppose is fairly accurate for a World War I game. But from a gameplay perspective, I suspect something like that is not exactly going to be beneficial. Where do you think you're going? I want to suppress a bunch of these lines, because some of my tanks are starting to get a little worn down. Let's get the surviving whippets involved. You guys, to the command trench. The other Gurkha groups to the adjacent sector. The Brits into the trench. Is my tank okay here? Yeah, that weapon's been fixed. I'm not really getting a sense that these whippets are doing much of anything. At all? That's a little weird. Why are the whippets not actually doing anything? Oh, hello. Wow, that went well. It's kind of what I was expecting. I mean, you're fighting a vastly more numerous force. And sure enough, the Gurkhas are kicking ass, but they're not doing it nearly fast enough. So, we're going to need a larger assaulting force. We're going to simply need more British standard infantry. Alright, these guys are going to be terminated. Over here, I have a full health tank, cannon tank. There's another whippet. You can join your whippet brothers. You're getting healed up? Yeah, you're getting healed up. Okay, you just need to be far enough away from the battlefield, that's really all. Alright boys, get in there. You get into this trench. And we're going to make a bit of a move here. Ah, they kicked them out. Excellent. Excellent. Alright, let's demotivate these trenches a little bit. Not really any particular reason, I just want to get rid of them. Because I can. Okay. That was cute. Oh, we're getting a counterattack here. This is where the whippets could come in useful, I guess. Just whippet your way over to that trench and make sure that nobody else gets in there. Because my guys are... well, they're holding. But only just. Could you please leave? I don't like how badly you've gotten hurt. Cannon tank. Alright, I'm going to ignore most of the trenches that they have, like, dug in the front here. I just need to get to... oh, never mind. That is the front. It's one of those extremely wide maps. So you're going to go there. Whippets to the right. Yeah, I'll take your surrender. I mean, we all know where this is gonna go. It's not gonna go their way. So that's our boar hit once. If I could hit it again, I would, but sadly I can't. What I can do is do another attack on Mrozak, and this way, if I have a breakthrough, they're gonna be forced to also reinforce the other positions there. As for the north, Malmedy and La Roche-en-Ardenne look pretty ripe for the taking, so let's take this. It is tempting to go for an auto-resolve, but I'll take this battle manually. I won't show it because it's just going to be pretty much the same thing all over again. Right, so La Roche-en-Ardenne captured. This is going to force the Germans to also reinforce Diekirch and Bastogne. Without those, they are going to potentially find Rochefort surrounded. So they don't really have a lot of options. They have to do something about this break-in. Whether it's going to be a breakthrough, that depends on how many people reinforce Diekirch over here. If they do bring a whole bunch, it's going to be interesting. If they don't, I'm just going to keep moving. I'm going to keep barging through. The guys over here, I'm going to relocate a tank and some companies in order to get a bit more onto my Schwerpunkt, because the game always leaves half of your group behind. So this is now a bit of a less of a potent stack. It's only 2 tank groups, and I would actually like another one. Now, fortunately, I have the cash for that, and I can't exactly attack anyway. It is, however, 1917, and the Americans have arrived. The Americans bring the French tanks, but I generally don't care for them at all. I do care for the British tanks. They are just far more potent than anything the Americans and the French can potentially provide at this stage. Now, as for research points, I did get the siege artillery. I don't exactly know if I'm going to use that. One thing I was looking for in the tech tree and could not find is that ability where you undermine the enemy. Undermining is where you basically destroy a whole bunch of his trenches throughout or rather before a battle, but it's simply not there. It was there in the tutorial, and I don't know where to find it in this actual campaign. Now, let's get a couple of stat upgrades for the infantry, such as the ability to throw grenades, and save the rest research point for something else. As for the guys in Liège, I can hit Malmedy. It's a 3-stack, it's not that dangerous. And I can also use these guys to hit Thionville, but the problem is it's a 4-star. I need to get 4 victories, which is a lot. I would rather just punch north and go into Longwy, and this way I can potentially link up with Bastogne and just cut off this group of 3 sectors over there. Now this map is very interesting, because I have pillboxes. These pillboxes are armed with a cannon, and you can somewhat see them rotate every now and then, it seems. Yeah, there we go. Slight rotation, a couple degrees. I have a couple of these pillboxes, so it's going to be excruciatingly difficult for the Germans to attack, especially as these trench lines also seem to have some elevation to them. If only I could defend on this map. But sadly, I don't have to. Which is a bit of a luxury issue, really. I'd love to defend on this map, but forcing the AI to attack you on a map like this, it's just very, very, very difficult. If not outright impossible. I don't know how you can force the AI to attack you here. It really would not be in their best interests. Anyway, one wide open command trench and an X-point that is defended by a lot of barbed wire that my tanks are going to interestingly ignore. So, what do I have to attack with? A couple of Mark IV machine guns, a couple of cannon tanks, and let's just prepare an attack from this side. We've arrived and ready for orders. We've arrived. Very good. Let's bring these tanks out to the left. I'm going to take the command trench first, because it's most likely going to be the toughest one to take. Defensive works, I have plenty of, so maybe like a couple of heavy artillery batteries just to soften up the trenches a bit. But like, it doesn't even have to be that much. Let's push this thing back. Better field fire. And I get 140 units of French infantry. So the French are out for blood. Well, I mean, they're going to be sitting in their trenches for now. But that is soon going to change. Now, these quotes every now and then that pop up. Machine guns are taken through grit and determination. No, you send one cannon tank and it gets rid of them for you. So that's not strictly speaking accurate. Good lord, this is close. Wow. Holy shit, they've been digging. And my tank is already coming under attack from the mortar. Unacceptable behavior. We're going to make sure that these guys know their place. Let's hit them with a bunch of siege arty. Sorry, not siege arty, heavy arty. And immediately start moving towards that mortar. It's going to get suppressed, but it won't die. There's probably plenty more where that came from. There's also a grenadier squad, which is a bit dangerous. I want you to stop. We need to take out those mortars very, very, very quickly. Nicely done. Okay. Now, they've been digging a lot. But is it useful? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to yield them much of anything. The game needs Dragon's Teeth. The game needs something that can actually stop a tank. Right now, they simply don't have it. Ooh, I say that, and three of my tanks have taken a lot of damage. You, forward. You, and you, back. Get your asses repaired. We're going to hit this counterattack with a counterattack. We're going to show them the error of their ways. This is unacceptable. Just imagine being one of these infantrymen out in the open and you see three of these behemoths coming at you. And you go, oh shit. And you run in terror. Alright, Frenchies, let's get going. We got a command trench to take. Hopefully these tanks will be able to shut down the arty group. But it's just one cannon tank, and it does not seem to have a really serious motivation to go after that arty battery. Good lord, there's a lot of you. What is this about then? You guys alright? Yeah, those tanks are getting fixed. Excellent. Okay, the cannon tank is finally understanding what I needed to do, which is to take out the arty. Where do you think you're going? I don't think so, Sunshine. Alright, mop them up. And drive them before you. Observation balloon. They're gonna try and run off the map? I mean, we will run them off the map, but that's something a bit different. Gone. Gone. You guys are working on the command trench, but yeah, we're gonna need like another 2 companies here. So, get in. You guys can start moving towards this position, because this is the only position they got left. I take this, or at least I neutralize it, and it's GG for the French. Well, yeah, it's GG for the French, but it's mostly GG for the Germans. So let's ensure that they can't actually hurt me anymore. Stop. Stop, 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 stop. I need to get them a little closer to the spawn. Or to the command point to ascertain that they actually can't do anything here. Go. Brush the barbed wire. There we go. We can't spawn anything new in. We are capturing the command trench. They should give up. They should give up very, very, very quickly. I still feel like I'm speedrunning the game, though. X is capturing. Command trench is ours. This tank has taken a load of damage, and it's died. Oh, mortars. Devious. Never mind, it is a sweep, but I did lose a tank. Unfortunate. after a few more battles and taking some more territories, such as Duikirch over here and Longwy over there, I think we have them. I think the Germans are about to collapse. As Brussels falls in the next turn, they should lose enough national will in order to go down. So we're going to come down to the counterattack. There we go.
The guns fell silent on the Western Front. The German offensive had collapsed under the weight of its own ambition and the combined might of the Allied nations. Its people were starving, its navy in revolt. Germany could no longer support a war of such attrition. The map of the world was to be divided among the victors. New nations would emerge. France would have its revenge, and Britain the dismantling of the German navy. In doing so, setting the stage for the next 100 years. Many would strive for a long-lasting peace, so that no war of such devastating scale should ever exist again. Yet, with great sorrow, history would tell a different story.
And finally, the guns fell silent. So, that marks the end of the Allied campaign. Will I do another one? No. I have been getting many requests for those. I've been getting requests, hey, can you do an infantry-focused campaign? Can you specialize on this? Can you just not use tanks? No. I think the game is already getting repetitive. I felt myself just having to really pull myself through the last couple of battles. Just tanks moving forward, and sure enough, I can change the tactics myself. I can change the limitations that I put on myself, but if you have to self-limit, I feel that the game isn't exactly as good as it can be. So, that's the end of the Great War on my channel. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I look forward to seeing you for other videos.